Well, my name is David. I'm here with.
Gabriel Negrete.
All right, so final episode. How you feel? Or
Special, man. It's the last one.
yeah, it's for my
And, it,
final grade.
and it's worth the most, so we got to be careful.
Yeah, very careful. So, all right. First off, now that you read the book or whatnot, or vicariously read the book by me, can you give me a full summary of a summary throughout the whole entirety of the book?
All right. It starts off with Kaya, unfortunately, having an already bad childhood, her mom leaving her. And then one by one, her siblings, and not her dad's also a drunk, abuses Kaya. Kaya, though, she's a very diligent and resilient girl. She goes to the swamp, I think, and collects mussels, right?
The marsh. Yeah.
Yeah, the marsh to collect them. And thankfully, she had someone like jump in, which is, I want to say her father figure, more like a friend. Jump in's wife also helped Kaya quite a bit. I think honestly, I think if it wasn't for those two people, Kaya would have been much worse off. Tate also helped her learn how to read. Did other things with Kaya that most people wouldn't, just because they kind of already labeled her as a marsh girl and maybe lower, dirty, whatever how they labeled her, but it wasn't good. Um, then Tate went off to college, and I guess the romantic feelings they had for each other kind of faded as he didn't keep his word. He left for what 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years. And when he came back, unfortunately, Kyle was already charmed by Chase, which he was already kind of known to be a player. Of course, Kaya didn't know that, but unfortunately, she was tricked by him and lost her virginity to him. And she found out the hard way, I think through a newspaper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that he was getting married to another girl. That kind of put her in a bad place, made her more shut off in general, just the people. And then Tate did that whole thing with the feathers again.
Yeah.
Got her back just a little bit more, and uh, back to the present where Kaya's being on trial for Chase's murder. Although they don't have anything solid, so they let her go. But I think Tate later finds um, these letters, right? But by a different alias, and it could well be her, like almost 100%. But it's still so she hasn't admitted it. I ain't gonna say it's 100%.
Oh no, I think it's more. I think it's 100%. She has
Hundred.
the necklace and everything, and then the poem.
All right, it's 100%. But we're
I
turning a blind eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll turn a blind eye. Chase wasn't the greatest person.
Yeah.
So now that obviously that again you vicariously read the book and know basically the whole major plot points, what would you say is a major theme or a theme that you notice in the book?
Abandonment and love.
Okay, but like what about those things? That's a topic, a theme. That love is something and or abandonment is something.
I guess one of the things is don't let your past traumas define you. Because even though she could have literally just kind of made an excuse on her entire life about, oh, my mom left me, oh, my siblings did this, oh, my dad abused me. Um, I didn't get that from her at all. So I'd say just kind of do you, really. Because,
That's pretty good.
yeah, shoot.
All right, okay. I'll contrast that with mine. So hold on. So compared to mine, right? Or for me, in the first chapter, right, we get yeah, we in the first chapter, there's already like a theme of basically love is a double-edged sword. Love can either heal you or really hurt you pretty badly.
Yeah,
Would you say?
yeah,
And so like I said in chapter one, right after Ma leaves the shack, Kaya, quotes never cried, end quote, at her leaving, but she had quote searching eyes, end quote, and that's found on page 10. And it's like revealed through plot structure that, would you agree that at first, if someone you love left you, it'd be hard for you to like accept the truth or whatnot, that
You'd be more closed off.
no, that so okay, I love this person, and they obviously love me, right?
Mhm.
For like example, like mother, father, whatnot. You love them so much, right? You couldn't imagine them possibly leaving you for anything else.
Yeah.
So, and that, and then through that, right? The author illustrates to us that for better or for worse, love gives us hope, and it's again that's like a double-edged sword because it's a good thing that love gives you hope that things with your significant other or your family will get better, but also it's a bad thing because hope shouldn't always be given in times where in situations right where Kaya throughout the book right where Kaya is left when she's abandoned by her other family and she only has her dad. After her dad like starts acting, I guess, quote unquote correct again, she has hope that he'll act decent, and that through that hope that if her mom could see her dad acting decent now, that she'll come back too.
Mhm.
And through that hope, it hurts even more when her dad relapses into that abuse, and that she should basically give up hope that anything that she'll ever see her mother again.
Mhm.
Or would you? What you think?
I would also add on to like the fact that Chase could have been her last straw, kind of like her breaking point.
Breaking point.
Yeah, because I feel like she had loved him, and there was hope again, but then that hope once again was stripped away from Kaya once she found out that he tricked her and basically cheated on her with the girl he was marrying. And I feel like um, once again that was kind of like I said her breaking point, place of no return, and she did the deed of
Yeah.
murdering Chase. And
Yeah, it's sort of like a three strikes out, right? So like first she had hope that her dad would, you know, start acting right again. And he doesn't. She has hope that Tate won't leave her like her family did. He left. And then again, obviously, like you stated, Chase was her basically almost last chance at love or the sense of a family.
mhm, just I
But
guess love in general, kind of like that warm feeling. Because I guess she was too tired of being cold.
yeah, and after that, we see that what the things love people without love can do.
Mm.
That's murder is one of them. So moving on, right? Then later on in chapter 16, Kaya gets her family Bible after learning how to read from Tate. Quote, she found her and quote her siblings' names and quote she would never let them go. That's found on page 105. It's portrayed to us through plot structure that thanks to Tate's love for Kaya, that she was able to remember her siblings when she almost forgets them. The author reveals to us that love can heal us. Through others' love, we can recover things that we lost that mean a lot to us. So, have you ever had an experience like that where, thanks to someone else's love, you were able to recover something else?
Unfortunately, I have not gone through the tragedies that Kaya has gone through.
I
So.
don't think that's unfortunately. I think that's fortunately.
Oh no, fortunate. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Fortunately, I have not experienced such tragedies. No. So I would say no,
Nah.
or maybe, but on a very minor scale in comparison to this. Because from reading the Bible, I would have never rediscovered my siblings' names since I already know them.
Oh
So.
no, well, it was physically written down in the family Bible.
Oh.
And she couldn't really read her siblings' names because, well, she couldn't read. So thanks to Tate's acts of love, like uh, at first, he loves her like his sister, and then
He starts to love her romantically.
yeah, but because she loves her as a sibling, he obviously doesn't want his sibling to not know how to read.
Yeah.
So thanks to that,
His acts of kindness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got anything else to add on?
Mm, no.
Cool. So then, chapter 18. Scupper and Tay have a discussion about Kaya and maybe what kind of girl she is or the rumors around her, right?
Mhm.
And Scupper tells Tate he doesn't quote want to go starting a family quote and with too early, right? Which is fair advice, but Tate replies with quote you do believe she's that kind of girl, and that's end quote. You can find that on chapter page 130, and then and I guess to us it's revealed to us through dialogue that our loved ones will sometimes be at odds when we choose someone we love, right? So again, like bring home. Sometimes you'll bring home like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? And your parents won't exactly like the decision you made,
They'll think, oh, this person's not right for you, or hey, you can do better, or like, what are you doing with your life?
right? So and then the author reveals to us that our choices on loved ones can push our other loved ones away, right? So
Because I feel like people who are close with their parents value their parents, um, I guess,
opinion, Tyler.
yeah, opinions. So, like for example, I guess if marriage was to be involved, and I'm pretty sure most daughters would want their fathers to agree on who they choose as their husbands, and vice versa, and all that.
Right, because like Tate, obviously, I guess later on through the book, right, we find that Tate and Kyle try to have a kid, but they never had one. So and Scupper, they probably could have had a kid earlier if only like Tate hadn't like chickened out before, or
He didn't go off to college.
no, not that. It's just like if at least he kept in contact.
He kept his word,
Yeah.
his promise.
But do you think like also the influence of Scupper telling him that he probably doesn't want to go start off a family, right? Because
That probably did something.
yeah, because like
Perhaps.
even then in the books he says that he can't get pregnant yet, right? And that because he can easily be affected by it, which is true. It's hard to probably support someone. It's hard to support a kid and someone else.
Especially when you're not financially stable, because then you run into money issues quite quickly.
Yeah, so the influence is on that, right? Sometimes we side with one more. It depends on who we love. I want to say it depends on who we love more, but right, like if you like you said, some people value their parents' opinions more than they value their significant other, and so they'll probably make a bad decision, or maybe who knows the right decision on um, who they should love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because unfortunately, it's like they need their parents' approval. You know.
Yeah. Well, Tate doesn't need it, but like he's probably influenced by that because yeah. So, or you have any other ideas or thoughts?
I might just think Tate messed up, and that's about it.
Yeah, same here. Then in chapter 30, right after Kaya learns of Chase's engagement, Kaya tried to, quote, outrun the pain and quote try to quote kill the pain and quote, and then you find out on page 211, and it's revealed to us through the personification of pain and hurt that betrayal is a risk we take when we love someone. Is that something you can agree on with?
Yeah, yeah, because you got to place a certain amount of trust in order to love someone, and as soon as they betray you, kind of like you feel it.
Yeah, because deep. The author reveals to us that love is not without pain, not without risk, and not without fears. Or do you think you pull any other meaning from this?
Just other than the fact that love is a double-edged sword, because as soon as you get betrayed by someone who was pretending, or I guess fake in general, just cuts deep, hurts, and it takes a lot of time, or not a lot of time. I guess certain time to recover, depending on the situation and who hurt you.
Yeah, and then I guess I saw a mess up thing, right? Like to have a stronger love for someone, you have to go through hardships and fights and pain to appreciate your love even more, right?
You got to put yourself at risk.
Yeah. So that's one thing. And then in chapter 21, after Kyle learns that Tail failed to keep his promise, the marsh life quote crowded around her and quote and made her smile quote even as tears streamed her cheeks end quote. Find that on page 1485. Through imagery, it is illustrated that human love is not the only type of love that can heal people. You know,
Mhm.
'Cause have you ever had like project or something you like that has helped you through hard times,
A project?
or something that you like, a hobby?
Probably my cat, playing with my cat.
Yeah,
I guess just animals,
and
being with animals, and because I don't know about you, but if you're sad and you let a puppy lick your face, helps quite a bit.
right. So the author reveals that people's love for their work or nature can heal them from heartbreak or other. It's not necessarily human love that can heal us. Animal love or love for other things can help heal us.
Or companionship.
Yeah. Like for example, like after some people gone through tragedy, they just go on a life searching journey through nature, or
Or like a therapy group.
yeah, or sometimes if they hit the road, go for a what's it called? Not a hike, a road trip. There you go. Some
Oh,
people just go on road trips just to heal from their pain and suffering. What do you think?
no, yeah, spot on.
Spot on.
Spot on.
Yeah. All right. Or what? Can you derive any other meaning from this?
Um, just that, to love someone is to basically put yourself at risk. It could be rewarding
Or
or it can be disastrous. Like divorce settlements and all that.
it's always a 50-50.
Yeah.
And then in chapter 33, after learning about Maya's life after leaving, Kaya and Jody have a discussion on Ma's actions and inaction. Kaya tells Jody, quote, she should have chosen to stay, end quote, and how she should have, quote, written letter after letter, year after year, end quote. And then find that page 238. So as we know later on, we figure out what the contents of that letter is, right? Though, do you remember?
That the mom was dying, right? Or that she's dead.
No, do you remember what it was said in the
Oh no,
letter?
no.
It was basically how Kaya's mom wanted her kids back.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and then through Kaya and Jody's dialogue, it reveals to us that our actions, our inactions, are heavily based on powerful emotions at the time.
Mm.
Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Have you ever just looked back on some probably poor actions you've done or inactions?
And regret them.
Yeah,
Yeah, all the time. But I mean, I feel like that's natural because you never know.
yeah, because Kaya has a point, right? That she probably shouldn't. Her mom should have written letter after letter until finally one actually got to them.
Mm.
But it just shows to us that if we let our emotion control us, we can possibly push those we love away from us, right?
Yeah, because you can be pushed by emotions of rage and you take it out on others, and or inaction, like you said, you just don't communicate well, and other problems arise, and it just doesn't work well.
Like sometimes you should just apologize, but you're just too stubborn to apologize.
There you go. That's another one.
Yeah, and the illustrator illustrates to us that love is not always uh, as powerful as we think, right? Because people really like amping up the importance of love. Love is important, right? But it's not always all powerful as we like to think it is. Love can be powerful or just as fragile.
Yep, depending on the person and the bond too,
Yeah.
varies.
Then in chapter 55, Kaya sees Tate being taken away by the police, and quote, agony ripped her, and quote, Kaya waited years for Tate in the marsh, but quote, perhaps he would no longer be there, end quote. Find out page 354. So it's revealed to us that Kaya takes an interest in the marsh primarily due to wanting to see Tate again. She's always had a connection with the marsh, but it's amplified more because of Tate. Because she
Finally, like found someone with similar interests.
Yeah, she knows all his favorite passageways and things like that. And then um, it's just like that. Everything she's gotten from the marsh is also due to thanks to Tay. Because she wants to see Tate again, she was able to like understand the marsh and understand probably human interactions and be really smart because she wanted. It's like a byproduct, right? She wanted to see Tay, and due to a byproduct, she was able to understand marsh life and whatnot. And due to her understanding of marsh life, she was able to finally not have to dig for mussels and other things like that to have a stable life income that she wouldn't have gone without thanks to Tate. And it's revealed through imagery that simply the thought of being with Tate again gave Kaya strength. Would you agree, or do you think Kaya's just a strong, independent woman?
I mean, if it says in the book that it was something she looked forward to, then I gotta agree with it. Can't really say nah, man. I mean, I do agree that she's a very strong woman, because
Yeah,
she didn't think of any other, like suicidal options. And yeah, she was just resilient.
yeah.
And
Uh,
and even though she didn't have much of an education, I felt like Lamarche taught her quite a bit.
I taught her quite a lot,
Yeah, so there goes that.
and the author reveals that love is the net we fall back on when life gets too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we get hurt, we just run back to those things. We fall back on those things we love.
Kind of like a rock.
Yeah, it's a safety net, a rock. It grounds us.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like reading, some people have other people, or some people like playing games.
Yeah, fun.
We fall back onto the love from others and use that to keep going in life. You know what they say when the going gets tough. I don't really know what to say. When life gets tough, we reach out for other people or reach out for the things we love or enjoy to help us.
Some people also go back on religion.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
At the end of the day, people vary. So, like you said, they fall back on different things.
You know,
Unfortunately, not everyone falls back onto the right thing, though.
yeah.
Addictions, unfortunately, consume people.
But then again, right? That's like double edged because they love it, but it's not exactly healthy for them.
Or good in general. Like people who fall back in like toxic relationships
Yeah.
or drugs, alcohol, whatever it may be.
Yeah. These are just like some examples like how double edged love isn't as always sunshine and rainbows.
No, there's some rain in there too.
Somewhat.
Because you know how after the rain, that's when sunshine and rainbows come up. So I was kind of like trying to go onto your imagery with rain and all that.
Yeah.
Rain, clouds, thunder, whatever.
You can't love you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't just love someone without possibly fearing that without taking the risk of being betrayed.
Mm-hmm. There's no sunshine and rainbows without thunderclouds.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I mean,
What else do you think?
that's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
No other special thoughts?
No, enough said.
How else do you think love was? You think? How else do you think love was shown being double edged in this book that you
Well,
could think of?
abandonment.
Abandonment.
The mom chose to abandon her love. Or I'm assuming she loved her child. If she didn't, then she'd be a horrible mother.
Obviously, she tried to reach out. But
Yeah, so it showed love being abandoned completely. It can scar you,
yeah,
leave you with traumas untalked about.
yeah. It just goes to show, right, that it's not. We like to romanticize love, but sometimes love isn't.
It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. Yeah. So, anything else, or
it could also fall back to like those toxic relationships where that person ain't the one, but for some reason you just they just keep falling back to them, and it stresses them out, causes anxiety. It ain't good. Does more harm than good.
Yeah. So that's it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it.